Blog Talk Radio.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Gypsy Poet Radio on blogtalkradio.com/Gypsy Poet. I am the Gypsy Poet, and of course with me is the lovely and wonderful and magical, the relentless and mysterious girl, George. She has brought an awesome guest to the show, and I am excited to have her along. She is the absolutely mesmerizing, the magical, the most creative person I have ever come across, and a total idol in so many different places. I have got to introduce to you all to the lovely and wonderful Ginger Coyote.
Hello, how are you?
Go into the past. I know Ginger from way back at the Mabuhay with it first started with Dirksen and Leela and the Snakes and Pearly Gates and
Mary Mundy and Lady LaRue.
Yes, those were the days, my dear.
The Nuns.
Yeah, Naomi Ruth Eisenberg and let's see who else. Come on, drop some names. I know you have a few.
Oh, well, and the Sleepers, Crime, the Units.
The Mutants.
The Mutants, the Avengers, the Ready-Mades. There were a whole bunch of bands back then.
Dead Kennedys.
Yep.
Blast.
Lady LaRue.
Fast Floyd. I heard he got real crazy later and shot somebody and the cop shot him. But back in the day, he was cool.
Mm-hmm. And then there was Aldo Nova, Novak, Crime, just a whole list of bands that you said.
One time, Naomi came running into me at the Mabuhay and grabbed me and was crying and said, "I thought you were dead," because somebody had dropped a 20-pound rock outside the window of that hotel above the Carol Doda's Condor and hit me on the head, and I was out on the street. The ambulance came and took me away. It cracked open my skull, and everyone thought I was dead. I think you'd wrote a story about me being dead.
Oh, boy.
But I'm not that easy to get rid of, am I?
No. You're here for a purpose, and that's to fuck with people.
Oh yeah. So how did you start doing that Punk Globe magazine?
I decided, well, there was only one other punk magazine in San Francisco called Search and Destroy, and no offense to them, but I thought that they were pretty elitist, and they wrote about the same bands over and over and over and over. And they didn't give too many other bands very much of a chance, nor did they include the audience, because I really believe that the people who came to see the bands were just as interesting, if not more interesting, than the bands that were on stage.
Oh, yeah, my audience has always been at least half of my show. It's important, if not more important than I am. It's all a collaboration of us, not look at me up here. I mean,
it's kind of like the way Wendy O. Williams, I call her Wendy Williams, not Wendy O. Williams, but Wendy Williams, the talk show host. Considers
I
her
thought you
audience.
meant the one that blew up cars and had
No, I'm talking about Wendy Williams, the co-host that does the talk show, and she says that the audience is her co-host.
Mhm.
And that's a good way of looking at it. You've got to be, even with the band, the White Trash Debutantes, I always try to include the people in the audience and try to get them on stage and, go out and lap dance, stuff like that with them.
Yeah, I always try to get them up on stage. My band's always been called Girl George and the Dragons, anyone I can drag on stage. And I do. I'll have 50 people on stage. I have more people on stage than I have out in the audience. And that's where I like it, where everyone's doing it together. That's what's fun.
Bring people up to do the time warp, have them come up and do fuck off, all kinds of things like that. It's always fun to include the audience because then they feel that they're a part of the party. And my motto has always been, if you can make somebody kind of forget about all the troubles that the world has to offer for 45 minutes, an hour, then you're doing something good. People
yes.
can
How did you
laugh.
get together the band, the White Trash Debutantes? When did that get together, and who's in it?
Mm-hmm. Well, that was started like in the 80s, and then from the 80s there's been different people, but today the people that are currently in the band are myself, Polly Gray, Eric Bortz is on drums, Polly's on guitar, Chelsea Rose is a singer, backup singer, and Carla McLeod comes in and sings with us up in Canada, and sometimes Miss Lagaya from Vancouver plays with us. Mark Floyd plays guitar once in a while. Then we have Keith, who's on bass. We had Aaron Kuchit that was playing bass for a while with us. Adam Ellis from Psycho-Punk was playing with us for a while, and we've, but that's the main unit is Chelsea, myself, Lynn is one of the backup singers also, and then we've also, we have different people come in every once in a while and do things with us, but that's the main core band: Chelsea, Polly, Eric, Keith, and Lynn on occasion, and also Amy Talaska up in Portland. She was living in Southern California. She plays with us a lot too. And
when did you move to Hollywood? When did you move
I moved to Hollywood in 1998 because the .com people were coming in. They were buying out the property in San Francisco, and it was just impossible to find any place to live. And you would go, and there would be lines, lines around the block, and then down the street, like three blocks, just to see one apartment. And there'd be people with briefcases, and they were working at Silicon Valley. So the chances that I was going to get picked to move into a flat or anything was just almost 0 to none. And I'd been down in Los Angeles, and I'd been seeing these advertisements, where you can move in now, pay later, 2 months rent free, all that. So I decided that was probably the best place to go. I mean, I could have gone over to Oakland, all those kind of places, but I wanted to do something different, so I decided in Los Angeles. And
I guess we switched places because I was in L.A. for 12 years until 1995, and I came back here to San Francisco. You know how elephants are. They always come home to die. So when I hit 50, I figured I better come back to San Francisco where I belong, So I came back here and, deal with it.
Oh,
I like the weather much better here. It's cooler. It's so fucking hot in LA.
I don't like the weather in San Francisco.
I love
it's
LA.
LA
was fun, boy. You better get your shit together, and they'll kick your ass. I played at Al's Bar for 12 years, and they threw shit at you if they didn't like it. That toughened me up. I was much tougher after I left LA than before I got there because they'll kick your ass there.
When I came down to Los Angeles, there were more places to play on Sunset Strip than the entire Bay Area. As far as clubs, there was all these nightclubs that were on Sunset Strip, and there were so many places to play down here. And it was just when the CEOs and all that stuff from Silicon Valley were coming into San Francisco, they were closing down all the clubs, and there was just a handful of them that you could play at.
Well, I'm in Berkeley. I don't even go over to San Francisco much. Berkeley's cool for me, Well,
I know Berkeley and Oakland, but I was in San Francisco, and we would play the East Bay. We used to play over there with Rancid and the Insaints and Filth and all those bands, and Link 80, and we played with all kinds of bands at Gilman Street. And
Gilman is cool. I played there. That's a cool punk place.
And
where are you from originally, Ginger?
Oh, San Francisco. I lived there mainly most of my life.
Where were you born?
I was born in the Midwest, but I came out to San Francisco very, very early.
You don't like to talk about your childhood, huh?
I don't like to talk about things that are boring.
We don't have to go there. I was just curious.
Yeah, I mean, why talk about something that is irrelevant?
Yeah,
I mean,
okay, it's irrelevant.
Some people like the Midwest.
Okay, let's talk about Courtney Love. You know Courtney Love, don't you?
Oh, yes,
I'd love
I do.
to talk to her on this show. I'd love Courtney.
Oh, yes. She's no, I mean, we used to hang out. She used to hang out down at the Tool and Die with Bill Halen and all those guys, and I used to see her down there. And she's very good friends with my friend Roddy Bottom, who is the keyboard player for Faith No More. And Roddy and I are very close, so we see each other on that end too. In fact, I was just at Larry Legs McNeil's book reading at the last bookstore in downtown Los Angeles, and I ran into Eric Erlandson, who played guitar with her, and so we took photos together, and we were talking to Olivia Barish. I don't know if you ever met her. She was the actress who was in Repo Man.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, she's doing a documentary on the Viper Room, and she wants us to be in that, so that'll be a lot of fun, too.
Well, I used to play the Viper Room before it was the Viper Room. It used to be called the Central. And this guy called Keith used to run a jam there, and you'd pay $1 to get in, and you'd sign up, but nobody on the list ever got on. It was people like Jimi Hendrix, his drummer, and the guy from My Sharoma, on the drums, and Jack Bruce on the bass, and the Chambers Brothers, and Carole King. Now, they put me on because I came in with a sword, and he wanted to see what I did, and I did dirty songs, so he put me on first. He says, they can't back you up because you do original stuff. So they put me on first every open mic, but I was the only one that wasn't famous that ever went on.
I was impressed by that movie clip. I mean, and with having Chris Christopherson and all that stuff in it.
That was way before the Mabuhay.
Well, I understand that, but you've got fame. I mean, just in a different era, but not around with the punks who've seen as much. But you've already made tracks, girl. You don't have to worry.
Well, I'm 68 years old, so I go way back to before the hippies.
Well, you were
I was there when the Charlatans were playing around San Francisco. Charlatans are friends of mine. Mike Willem used to play with me. So I've known them, music is music is music. They keep changing the titles and the names and what they call us, but it's all the same fucking thing,
Girl George used to babysit Punk Rock Pat and Lenore, real cool chick. Punk Rock Patty and Lenore were the older women that were in the White Trash Debutantes. Lenore was 89 or 90 when she joined, and then Punk Rock Patty was like in her mid-80s. And Punk Rock Patty and the Quarter Troopers, I remember we went up to the Pacific Northwest, and she had met some guy. We had played with the Cadillac Tramps up in Vancouver, and she had liked that guy Gabby that was a singer with him, and she was calling. I got up, and she was calling all the hotels asking them if if Gabby was there, and I was saying, well, you don't even know his last name. You're saying Gabby from the Cadillac Tramps, and then she goes, well, I figured they probably know who he is, and I go, Pat, you are a groupie. And then she went to see him in San Francisco at the Paradise, and I guess Gabby brought her on stage and introduced her as his girlfriend and kissed her on stage. So she was, that made her day. It helped her out. It gave her a charge, and she went from liking like Nat King Cole and that kind of music to liking the Dead Kennedys and NBC. And
did you like that song I wrote about you?
Yes, very nice.
Yes. I write a different song every week about whatever is going through my head, and I wake up in the middle of the night and I'll write a song, and you were going through my head all this week, so it came out you. So that was it.
Oh, good. Well, as much as we were getting all the posts and stuff on that event page on on Facebook. That was pretty good. We got some good feedback. Hopefully all those people are listening.
Yes.
Shout out to Will Smith and Tara Rez and BB Buell, of course. She's my girl.
Yes.
And all the other people that said that they're going to be listening. Thank you so much.
Yes. Apparently, we also have a caller on the board, actually. This caller's been waiting to ask a question. This is a 443 number. Just take one moment. Hello, you're on the air on Gypsy Poet Radio.
Hello, I just want to say hi to Ginger, and I love you.
Thank you.
And this is Maggie.
Maggie, what are you up to, girl?
I told you I had to listen to you. I love you. I've known you almost all my life.
I know. Maggie used to work down at the psychedelic shop on Market Street, or her parents did, with that guy Mike. And that's how I first met her. I used to take punk globes into the psychedelic. You remember that story, don't you, George?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And I used to take magazines, punk globes in there, and we'd put them on consignment, and it was one of my. And then they advertised with us. And then I brought Maggie up. I remember. Then I ran into Maggie at the Mabuhay. Mabuhay Gardens, and we used to hang out, and she was all into verbal abuse and all those guys. And then I went to Boston, and I played a show with we made the Baltimore version of the White Trash Debutantes, and Maggie and her daughter Holly came to the show. It was at the Auto Room, right? The Auto Bar.
Yes.
Yeah, and we played with like there was just a whole. It was called the what was it?
Freakers Ball.
Freakers Ball, yeah, and there was all kinds of bands that were playing there.
And it was Holly's first taste of punk rock, and she loved it.
And she met, and that was the night that she met Grandma Groupie.
That's right, and got to sing on stage with Ginger.
Yeah. Yes. and then we also got to hang out and chat and just see about how things are going. And I remember Jim, de facto, you went over to his house and you saw his dogs and stuff, and that was a good, fun time. When are you coming to California?
I am coming soon. Now that I am a disabled veteran, I can go wherever I want.
Oh, good. Oh, it's sad that it's disabled, though. I mean, but you're still able to move, but.
Oh, yeah. And I'm coming out, and I'm hanging out with Ginger.
Good.
But I wanted to tell you I love you. I love you, and I'm listening to your show.
Good.
Oh,
thank you so
awesome.
much.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much. All right. Thank you.
You take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Awesome. That was an amazing moment on Gypsy Poet Radio. Thank you so much, Maggie. Wow.
Bye.
I wanted to ask a few questions to you, Ginger. I want to talk a little bit about Punk Globe magazine. It is definitely an amazing magazine. I told you even before the show that I absolutely devoured the magazine online. Has there ever been a moment? There's two questions I have, but the first one I have is this. Has there ever been a moment where you said, yes, I got this before anybody else?
Well, as I said, it was like the reason I did it is because basically Search and Destroy was really elitist, and they didn't write about a lot of bands that were playing that were really good. And they very scared, very reserved, and I felt that there was a void that needed to be filled, and so I decided, I want to include everybody. And by including everybody, I had all different people of different sexuality, race, and age. I mean, it was just kind of against isms. And then I also included, like, soap operas and TV shows and stuff like that, which, a lot of people think that that's kind of weird. But, I know that one of the appeals that Joey Ramone had to Punk Globe, it was that the fact is that he was a big fan of All My Children and One Life to Live. He used to watch them, and that's on Daytime Delight. is about All My Children that the Ramones did.
That's amazing.
And I introduced him to Dorothy Lyman, who played the original Opal Gardner on All My Children, and then she went on to play Naomi on Mama's Family. And so that was, and a lot of people that work during work at night don't get to see the nighttime shows, but they watch the daytime shows. I know the Buckettes were telling me one time they play with the Buckets, they were backup singers, and they told me about how they saw Tina from One Life to Live at an airport in Chicago and took pictures with her, and they were all punked out, and there's Tina in a fur coat and stuff, and taking pictures with punk rockers. But they knew who she was.
Yes, that is amazing. I like that. Absolutely.
I mean, there was it turned. I would, also back then was an era when punk was kind of taboo. People were scared of it and had never, when the MAB first opened. I mean, sure, there was it was crowded to get in, but the TV shows, the news and everything was people showing up to this bar, fearing in the cops, working double time because they thought because they'd heard all the reputation, with the Sex Pistols and all that stuff, and all the, the violence and stuff that went along with the clubs and stuff. And I remember I was in the bathroom at the MAB, and George, you've been there, the women's bathroom, and I heard this voice going, "I just love the Berlin Rats." And I looked out, and there was Lenore, a real cool chick, who was probably 79 or 80 at the time, and she was wearing a derby hat. She just, said that she got it was her shot in the arm. Her adrenaline went on when she heard punk rock. So, it showed that it wasn't all people like that weren't scared to go down there, and there was all kinds of people that used to come into the clubs. But back then, there was this taboo, and I think that I tried to in the magazine show that there were all kinds of people who enjoyed punk rock.
Did you take my TV show there on Saturdays before the show started? And I had my daughter there dancing the hula and tap dancing on the TV show. And she was 4 or 5 years old, and they just loved her.
Lady LaRue used to have her 3 daughters, the Infant Terribles, dance with her.
Yeah, my daughter was there the first time I played there, and she was about 6 months old. First time I played there, and somebody had her in the audience in their arms when I played, so it wasn't that dangerous.
No. I remember going to a Dead Kennedy show, and this was after Moscone and Milk had been assassinated, and basically George Moscone's daughter Jennifer used to go to the Mabuhay, and he kind of made sure that the cops didn't harass the club that much. But then after Moscone was murdered by Dan White, there was Diane Feinstein took over, and her husband Richard Bloom was a realtor who wanted to get rid of all the nightclubs up on Broadway, and they were starting with the Stone, Madame Keiko's place, and the Mabuhay. And one day during a Saturday afternoon raid, they came in and they raided the club, and they picked up all these kids. And in the audience was Mike Henderson. That was the deputy of San Francisco, and he went out, and his nephew got put in the paddy wagon, and he got all the kids released. He said, "They're not doing anything. This is bullshit. Fuck you. Let those people out." That was so cool. And and he was friends with Biafra. He came to Biafra's wedding, and he always supported the Punk Globe, and he was the sheriff of San Francisco. Herb Caen was also a big supporter of punk rock. He liked the Mabuhay. And Herb Caen was a well-respected writer for the Chronicle.
So are you playing around L.A. and Hollywood now?
Well, we play every once in a while. It's not like we're doing it's not like it's mandatory. We got to play like 3 times a month or anything like that. We play when
you want to.
Yeah, we just do it when we want to. We get a good show offer and we'll play. There's talks about another show up in San Francisco that we're going to be doing. We'll probably be playing a show in Oakland at the Legionnaires Club. It's over there on Telegraph Avenue, then 23rd, I believe. There's a band called Burning Monk, and Matt, I met them through Liberty Bradford Mitchell, who's Artie Mitchell's daughter, and she has a play called The Pornographer's Daughter. She'd written a book and made it into a play, and I think they're going to be doing some sort of an HBO or Showtime series from it. Anyways, I met them through there, and anyways, they what's his face? My name, Matt from the band is owners of the Legionnaires Club, and he said that we could play there. So that might.
Are you going to do the Mabuhay reunion thing? You've been nominated as the homecoming queen.
Homecoming queen. Yeah, I'll vote for it. We'll see.
I don't know what exactly it is. They have a page up. And you're nominated, but I don't know exactly when it's going to be. But I'll go.
I think it's going to be September 21st. That's what I read on that page or something. Yeah. Well, I guess it's almost as good as becoming
I'm sure you'll win.
To a daydream believer and a homecoming queen.
Yes.
You once thought of me as a white knight on his steed. Now I know how happy I can be.
Oh, I love that song.
The Monkees. Davy Jones, rest in peace.
Oh, yes.
And B.B. Buell, I hope everything's going good in New York, and Joey Ramone's birthday party is happening this month out there, and Donna Destry, she would.
Oh, you knew the Ramones too, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes,
that's
we toured
so
with
cool.
them.
I love the Ramones.
Yep, the Ramones were the best band ever.
Played at CBGB's? You played
at
CBGB's?
Yes, we did. We played with I can't remember, Metal Magnet or something like that. I can't remember. They ended up becoming fairly famous, but we played at CB's, and we had Joey Ramone, Lemmy, Cheetah Chrome, and Andy Chernoff and Daniel Ray all come to see us that night. Okay, well, I'd like to thank all the writers and Mark, who does the covers, Charlotte, who does the coding, everyone involved with Punk Globe, Michael, Lisa Looney, Cindy Ford, Tim Carney, the list goes on and on. You're all great people. Thank you for your support. And also check out the new Punk Club that'll be up any day now. And it's going to feature an interview with Girl George.
Yes,
and we also have got Stan Lee from the Dickies and Gene Taylor that plays keyboards with the Blasters.
Okay, folks, this is Gypsy Poet Radio. Please check out punkglobemagazine.com when you can. It's an absolutely wonderful magazine. It's sizzling, it's popping, it's rolling. And, of course, my lovely and wonderful co-host Girl George here on Gypsy Poet Radio. I am absolutely thrilled that she's here. And of course, she brought the lovely and wonderful Ginger Coyote. People, please go look. Access now. It's fabulous. The movement is amazing. Punk is still alive, people, and it will always be. It is a movement of freedom. It's a movement of rebelliousness and absolute substance. I absolutely love it. And this is the Gypsy Poet signing off, saying, of course, Girl George, I love you. Thank you so much. And, of course, Ginger, double kisses. You are amazing. Okay. This is GPR signing off, saying ideal for now.
Ciao.